Hi, welcome back. So today we're going to talk about this game called Warp's Edge. It's published by Renagade Game Studio, as you can see here. It's part of the Solo Hero series, so it can be played by solo. But then again, I get a lot of feedback like, solo games are only for one player, which actually is entirely not true because you can actually have collectively, play with two players, even three players. You just have to make decision collectively on how you want to handle and solve these puzzles. In this case, assigning various resources to defeat enemy, and then like should you generate the shield and stuff like that. And this game is designed by Scott Ames, so it has a seal of excellence from Dice Tower. That says something because it's not easy to get a seal of excellence from Dice Tower. Seal of approval is a lot easier. I have already opened the game, so as you can see, I have used my washi tape to actually tape out the game as I mentioned in previous video, so that I can keep the plastic on. Okay, so let's see what we have inside here. First, we have this nice looking bag with the Renegade Game Studio logo, and as well as the a 3D pop-up sewing of the word Warp's Edge on it. This is the token bag. Basically, you keep all your tokens inside. So we have like tokens that's actually already inside, some of the default tokens, as you can see here. Okay. So there are some like default tokens which actually is like always used for all the ships, so you can actually just safely keep them here. And the next thing you see is something that looks like game trays. They are not that trademark game trays with the Z, but they are just game trays, and then you can actually easily like leave them out from here, but I like to leave them out from the top. Anyway, so there are two trays that fits nicely in the box. The first tray we have actually stores all the this is all the lasers. The red ones are lasers, so it's one laser, two laser, three lasers, and these energies 1, 2, and 3 as well. So take it up and you're ready to play your game. The second tray is what I call a ship loadout. So this is your ship configuration. You have your maneuver, which is actually common to most almost all the ships. But the different powers you have is like indicated by P, O, W, E, R, as you can see below here. Has a various costs, and there are actually different tokens for different ships. So this is one loadout for one of the ship. I think this is the Achilles, which actually I like a lot. And but when you are using other ships, you swap in and out of the other tokens, which I'll show you where the rest of the tokens are soon enough. But first, let's take a look what's in the box. So before we go on to other stuff, let's take a look at what ships you get. So you get this Artemis, which actually doesn't really have much power because if there's any other special effects, it's all listed here. This is actually the same ship that's being shown on the box cover, as you can see here. And green part is actually the shield, and the yellow is the hull. So when you have this, it has 5 shield, 5 hulls. It's quite a well-balanced ship. So they also has some other stats to set up. So if there's anything special about the ship, they will tell you here. And there's a one hole, means that any unused token you can actually save it for the next round if you cannot finish using it. Otherwise, you get discarded. So they are both double-sided. On the other ship you get is this Achilles, which actually the loadout I've done for this because that's our last play with this. And you can see that the icons are very different, compared to other ships here. So they all have very different powers. The Achilles is actually quite different. So it has only a 3 shield and 1 hull. So anything that hits the hull, you actually kill this ship. But not really, because the special power of this ship is that if your hull reaches 0, you do not lose the game. Instead, you reset and then you end the current warp. So the warp is also kind of like a time counter. You would have a specific number of warps in order to defeat each boss, which I'll show you soon enough. The third ship we have is the Titan. Is really humongous Gaganauts. So it has very, very low shield, only 2, but it has a 10 hull. So this is like all out in armor. And we have the last ship here is the Hermes. Hermes is quite high on shield, about 7, but he only has 2 hull. It's slightly better than the Achilles, but he has different powers because at the game start you gain 1 extra skill card, and the target need 1 extra laser to destroy. So I mean, there's some good stuff and bad stuff about this, but that's the 4 ship you get. I think in the Kickstarter or an expansion you probably get more. I'm not sure you get more in the Kickstarter, but I think in the expansion you definitely get more. We have another bunch of bigger cards here, which actually is quite cool. They're too bad they are not your ships. These are like the bad guys, the boss. So the first one we have is the Hydra. The Hydra consists of 3 components. It's quite a well-balanced boss, to put it. And you can see here the corner here they say warp. So what it means is that right, you have 4 warps total, and you have to beat this boss in 4 warps. If not, you lose the game. And the difficulty is actually listed here. The various deck setup which I'll show you. This deck setup basically is the component setup for the minions, minion spaceships that is guarding or attacking you while the boss is like laying right behind like typically in those space simulations arcades. So as you can see, this why I call well balanced, because this needs 6 energy, 7 lasers, and 4 maneuvers individually on different components to defeat it. So you have to have quite a well balanced deck in order to go against this. On the other hand, on the opposite side, we have another one which is called the Array. This is humongously crazy beast, difficulty of 4, and it has 5 components, as you can see, and each of them use a different number of lasers in order to defeat it. Plus, there's some additional rules here. So this is not a simple boss. And the yellow symbol here, in case you're wondering, these are like the damage it does to you. So when you're facing the boss, any of the boss you did not manage to stun or did not manage to kill, actually is going to deal damage to you, and this is like quite a lot of damage, as you can see. This is the one you should start with the game, but obviously I made a mistake of not starting with this one. So this is difficulty 1. It has 3 components, and each of them takes a laser to take out. Not a laser, I mean takes laser, but in 6, 8, and 6. And it's like they also give you some rewards, after you're taking out each part, and then you actually get they actually only do you 2 damage, which is actually fair enough. So the mistake I did was I started with this guy because it looks cool and it looks like 2 kind of like Decepticons or something like that, but they're just spaceships. And there are actually 2 bosses in this 3 difficulty boss or mothership they call it, the duel. They have 2 different decks, so the setup is a bit different, and there's actually a counter in the middle. So on every alternate turns you start move around, and in certain turns you cannot use laser to stun, certain turns you cannot use maneuver to stun. So there are some limitations, and it's really interesting, and you are fighting this one. So as you can see, this one is quite well balanced. You have to use a laser to defeat it and maneuver to defeat it. So it has to be quite well balanced as well. And the last boss we have here is the Revenant. The Revenant looks simple enough, although it says a difficulty 4. It has 3 components which takes lasers to take out. Although the middle one really does a lot of damage, it's like 4 damage. But what is the worst is that you see that the warp here is only 3. So you have to really like quickly defeat this guy. And the worst part is that after you defeat it, that's actually not really, because it will transform into this giant robot with lightsaber. The Revenants will give you 1 more warp round, and you have to like take this out, this next 6 maneuver to take out. And what's worse is that it does 10 damage. That's almost outright kill any of the ships. So I would say that this is a rather difficult one, and this one takes out both the side of the board. So you actually get 5 mothership or bosses, I call it. So the next thing we take a look is what do you get in the booklets. So the first one you get is let's go through this. This is the rulebook. So the rulebook is quite nice because it has a very nice font that's quite big, pleasant for the eyes. Nice artwork as well, and it explains the games pretty easily. Tells you how the layout. It tells you even how to store the various stuff which I already showed you. Describe how to read the various cards, what each part of it, as well as the boss, which I actually kind of like ran through with you guys already. Sorry, I mean it's like the weather is not that good. So anyway, the next thing we see here is actually how to set up and the steps to to play the game. That's quite clear cut, and the most important part about this part is there's actually quite step by steps kind of thing, and they also have a whoops, and they also actually have this rewards table here, show you all the iconography, because in each of the different cards and everything you will see a lot of this. You got the rewards. Oh dear. And as well as also the last page you get this power tokens. This also is like, this power tokens directly refers to this, which you actually get different type of tokens for different ship, and this explains what is the effect of this. And some of them are really very, very cool. I need to run through like 2 of them. So one of them is this thing called Proton Blast. you basically put it between two enemies, and both the enemies on both sides takes 2 laser damage. As well, they have also have one maneuver also, and then this maneuver overdrive that you put in between, it takes 1 maneuver damage each side. So it's quite cool, as you can see. And the yellow one is really the one that gives you a lot of power. So the one that is on Achilles is actually the Warhammer. It actually defeat 1 enemy regardless of whatever requirements it needs. Next we have is this thing, what I call is the Storybook. The Singularity is actually a kind of like choose your adventure thing where you run through. It actually has various choices, and the choices you make branch the stories in different direction, and then it might affect the tokens you have and stuff. And there's actually a lot of cool characters, including this cleaner board who comes out, as well as enemy ships and stuff like that. And this kind of like a campaign game, they actually last for about 27 pages, until the end. So in terms of you're worrying about not having a campaign or not having enough play, there's this campaign to keep you occupied for many hours. So sorry about my nose, but here we are with the bottom tray. As you're wondering, if I load up all the power for one ship, where are all the powers for the rest of the ship? So they are all here. So this also listed POWER, as you can put down all the rest of the other token not used for your ship, for the ship the other ship that you're not playing. And there's 2 decks of cards. Basically, the first deck, before I even go to the first deck, there's actually this help card that shows the rewards, in both sides, so that when you're playing, you know what you're getting when you defeat certain enemies. Which actually more or less, like the same one in the manual. And the decks basically you get is actually you get 2 decks. So the first deck I'll go through, this is what I call the enemy decks. So I will flip through some of the cards here. But basically, there's a mix of different colors. So we have, as you can see, this is a tree. Red is like tree, which is actually totally dangerous. We have the 1 in yellow, and we have orange here. Let me grab an orange card. Yeah, so we have orange is actually 2. So there are like 3 different levels of difficulties of enemies that you will encounter in the game, and they each have like different type of they each have like 2 different ways to beat them. You either use a laser or use a maneuver, and this is the requirement, and this is the rewards you get. So as you can see, all these rewards, what is the O? Oh, you're not sure. So you can O is just like you get your power from O here, whichever tokens that you are rewarded for. And they does damage to you if you don't stun them or if you don't destroy them in the same turn. So this Venom ship doesn't have a specialty, but as you can see, it get more difficult. Other ships actually, like the Vengeance, it deals 1 damage. If stun, this enemy deals 3 damage instead. So make sure you don't just stun this, you kill him. Otherwise, it would give you 3 damage, which is really bad. And the red ones are even more dangerous. These are like level 3. And you can see that it takes a humongous amount of lasers, like 8 lasers and 3 maneuver to defeat this guy. And it deals 4 damage to your shield. If your shield is at 0, it does 1 damage to your hull, which actually this will kill the Achilles immediately and cause the warp to be reset. So as you can see just now, if the warp is reset, you only get like 4 warps, and if you keep getting it reset too often, you actually will lose the game quite quickly. So there's actually certain tactics for different ships you're playing against different boss as well. So mixing different boss and different ships, it gives you a lot of variety in this game, as well as also the load up of the various different type of power tokens, right? Also give you a different strategy as well. But to make it even more dynamic, there's this another deck called the power cards. So the power cards, you actually get to draw 2 in between warps and 2 at the start. So you get to choose 1 of the 2 cards to keep them, and they give you various power. But the various power also give you benefits, but then there's actually cost to using it. Like for example, this Faithful Laser. Faithful Lasers cost 2 energy to use, but then the laser tokens you assign to the target this turn count as double their value. So this is only for 1 turn. So you have to make very full use of it, like to defeat those really tough enemy, or like saving enough energy to trigger this card right at the boss fight, where you double everything. I can skip through most of this card. I'm not going to like spoil it for you, but you can see the artwork is really fantastic. Like beautiful artworks throughout the whole game, in fact. But there's one particular card I want to show you is kind of a spoiler. Is it kind of a spoiler? Maybe, but your friendly friend is here. Like I said, the cleaner bot. Yes, he's here. And this is a very, very important card because Steve actually returns 3 tokens from your discard back to the back. This means you have more tokens to play with, and you know, it can cause each walk to last longer, and that is quite critical for survival. So hopefully that card turns out quickly. Last but not least, we actually have seen 4 other counter, small counter tokens, I call it. They are for counting various stuff, as you can see. They also have one side of them has actually a design printed on them. You will see them soon enough in action. You know, like you'll see them soon enough in action in when I set out the game. There's this destruction token as well. So you know when one part of the boss actually is defeated. Like for example, you know, if you defeat part of the revenant, this front part is defeated. So you put it here, and then you know this part is effectively as destroyed. So I'm going to like set out the game, and then I'm going to show you like, you know, how does the game typically runs. I'll be back. So this more or less set up. So we have seen the counters for the tokens. So basically, the yellow one is actually for the shield. The blue one is for the hulk, where you actually, you know, put in to count what level damage you have. This is your ship. And these power cards actually, you get to draw 2 at the start. So let's say we have actually draw 2 here. We get to keep one of them. So we have this explosive rhythm. The tokens you gain from the evade rewards, you know, you put it directly in the pool. So that means you don't actually you know, put it in the bag, but you actually get to use it immediately if you want to. But this costs 2 energy, and the other one is target require 1 less maneuver to evade this turn, and then in minimum to a minimum of 1, you of course cannot go to 0. So this is actually pretty good. So when you don't have you know, maneuver but you have energy, you can actually choose to do it. So we will keep the advanced maneuver, which we actually put beside our strip, and then the other cards that we don't need, we will put it right at the bottom. And I'm going to show you a little bit of how to lay out this. So just now I mentioned, right, there's actually the, you know, like, so let's say let's say we take out the duel, because this is like a very typical example. So we have this counter for the warp. So the warp puts here. So you start at 4 warp. And there's this special counter which actually only used in certain scenarios. So in this case, you use it because it's used to keep track on which turn you cannot use laser and which turn you cannot use maneuver to stun enemies. So as you can see, the loadout for this is actually 2, 2, 2, 2 yellow, 2 orange, and 2 red. So I'm gonna like flick over the cards just to show you how I set it up. So you randomly choose 2 red enemies right at the bottom, and then followed by 2 orange, and then followed by 2 yellow, as indicated by here. So this has a there's 2 decks for this enemy, and it indicates that you need to draw 2 for each side. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna draw 2 from each side, which actually at the start, you know, you will actually get all the yellow enemy that comes out immediately, which is like the level 1s. This will be the easiest one. And in your ship, you will have all your tokens, and they have actually done something really very good for the tokens. I must show you. So the tokens that they are in the bags are all, you know, have the white border, which means they are indicated as these are the default tokens used for all ships. Plus, you actually also get the yellow token, which is actually the Warhammer. In this case, for Achilles, actually then you will take out the Warhammer, and we put it into the bag, and we shake the bag a bit, and then what we do is we draw out 5 tokens. So each round you get 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. We haven't got the Warhammer out yet. That's actually good and bad because the Warhammer is really very powerful. So we didn't. As you can see, so all these are actually quite explained inside the manual. There's a page that shows you all the 4 steps. So what we do is that when we have all these tokens, right, we will decide what to do with it. So for example, if this is around, we are facing 4 enemies. So we can either so the first round there's no limitation for this the duel. So that means we can actually use a stun or laser to, you know, you can use laser or maneuver to stun any of the enemies. And the boss don't attack you unless the 2 ships that's defending is, in this case, is actually defeated. So actually it's quite you're quite safe for a boss, and you cannot attack your boss anyway right now. So we can actually immediately take out this Viper if you want to with 2 lasers. As you can see, it takes 2 lasers to take out. So this could be first action you want to take. I mean, it seems like it's a good action because we probably don't have enough tokens to actually stun all the enemies. So let's say we do this, we put these 2 into the discard, which is over this side, and this ship is actually defeated. By starting is the reward we get. This is three. We get to draw three new tokens. If you're unsure, you actually can refer to this card. It means that you draw three tokens from the back and add them to your pool. So the pool is like your current hand. So here we go. We get three. 1, 2, 3. I still no Warhammer. No, we didn't get our Warhammer out yet. But we still have all this. It's not over yet. So at the minimum, I can see that we can actually start all the enemies if we want to. Let's see if do we want to defeat any of them? This takes only one maneuver. This is actually quite easy. Why don't we do this? We put one maneuver here and we defeat him. Okay, so this goes into the discard pile. And here goes the enemy. And what it gives us is that it gives us 1 energy. So we will go to the energy, and then you can see it's all laid out very nicely. So 1 energy we take and we put it into our bag. So actually we increase the amount of tokens we have as we defeat enemies, as you can see. And I'm probably not going to go through the whole round with everything with you, but you get the gist. And since now what we can do is now these 2 ships actually gone, we actually can attack the boss if we have enough tokens. But we have to worry about these 2 getting at us, because if we don't at least like put a maneuver and a laser to stun it, it will actually cause damage to us at the end of the round. And then we as you can see, we are really weak. So there's certain strategies to be taken with different ships. So basically the gist is this. So let's say if we do 1 maneuver and 1 laser here, at the end of the turn, it's not going to destroy him. So this get moves up and this get moves up, and then we start another turn, and then we draw another 5 tokens and so on. And of course the card get replenished because the rank has been wiped out. So you will like draw 2 more cards and you get more difficult cards now. And at every warp it gets reset. So when the warps happen is that when you are drawing tokens and you can no longer draw 5, that ends the warps. And if at the last warp you can no longer draw 5, that ends the whole game and you lose. So that was how I lost my first game, by the way. Because I didn't have a lot of tokens and I didn't have the cleaner board to return a lot of tokens back into the bag. So you get a gist of the gameplay, and it's like so I guess what I can say is this is maybe some final thoughts about the games. So this game has a lot of pros. The pros will be like these trays are really fantastic for keeping stuff, and everything fits into the box, which actually is like fantastic. Like travel, you can just bring everything, and this gives it like almost 0 time setup. I set this up in actually like 2 minutes, and it's very clear cut how to set up the cards, using the different colors and everything. And of course the cards are there, the artwork is very nice. I liked it. The theme of having space, like attacking, it's a little bit like more advanced version of Space Invaders, but a lot more in that. The ship artworks is very nice, and they all have very different powers, different stats against different bosses, which actually give you like combinations of ship versus bosses, and a lot of combinations which extend this game quite a lot. Plus also you get these power cards to modify the games a lot. So depending on which power cards you have, you may significantly affect the strategy you have against defeating the various different enemies. I guess that's most of it already. The bag is nice, of course. Then the tokens is pretty good, but I would have preferred if I gotten the Kickstarter version, which is plastic. And next, really, it's a little bit like about the cons. Not really the cons, but things that I thought can be improved. These tokens kind of like move around a lot. You jerk it and then it get displayed, because I thought if there's a little holes here, or inlay, I don't know, you actually keep the tokens in place. It'll be a lot better. And this is like kind of a bit too small and easily like drop and lost. But that's an improvement. That's not really a con. The token is another thing that I mentioned. I prefer the Kickstarter version because this is made of cardboard, and when you're gonna like put this in this bag and shake it and everything, they're gonna like peel over time, and I think the wear and tear is one problem I'm going to be concerned with. Probably going to put in some token protector to protect this, but then the problem is that I'm not sure if this will fit back into the tray after the token protector. So that is something I need to consider. I might lose the portability of it, if I'm going to do that. Then there's another thing is that we have this page, which is actually very, very useful. I would have preferred if this is like given as a card, where you can actually like just put it aside, so that I don't need to like take out the rulebook every time. But I guess maybe some people, after playing like 10, 20 sessions, they'll remember everything. Personally, right now, I have not had that much play, so maybe I don't. The two icons here that I thought can be improved is the maneuver icon, overdrive, does damage. So, for example, this is how it works. So you're going to put like this maneuver beside here, and it does this power drive, overdrive. Yeah, this overdrive is going to do one maneuver damage to one maneuver to both the sides, and it's a 1. But then the problem with the other one is that the proton blast does 2 laser damage to both ships. So if they could like put 1 on each side and 2 on each side, that would be like helpful. Kind of reminds me that actually it's 2 laser damage, not 1, because I kind of like forgot about that sometimes. All in all, I think that's about it. The rest I'm pretty happy with it. And before I end the video, I want to say that this is a voluntary review. Renegade's Game Studio has not engaged me on anything. I did not like get a free copy of the game, or I actually paid full for this game. In fact, I even paid full in a Kickstarter to back the future games. So I think I can say like keep out the good work, because I think I like the game a lot, especially the Solo Hero series. So the disclaimer is that I'm not getting paid to do this. I just because I like this game. I would like to really like introduce this game to other people who doesn't have this game yet. And given all the time that we cannot get the social gathering and everything due to COVID, being able to play solo games is like really a luxury times like this. And this is the praise I want to sing for it. So just want to say that it's a great game. I enjoyed it, and I hope that this review has been helpful to you. If so, you could actually help me by clicking like, clicking subscribe, and so to get more exposure and people knows more about this game. And when Wreakland runs arrives, I don't know when that was after Kickstarter, I might actually run through. This game is quite easy to even do a playthrough. There are other playthroughs available, but if you want to see me play through this game, let me know in the comments, and I can consider like making a video of how I play this game throughout. But then again, that's all that I have for right now. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope it's been helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon in another video.